How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here, and in this video we're going to be doing an overall market update, just like always, breaking down the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the Nasdaq. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the markets, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now in the middle of December, heading into this new year, turning over the new decade here in 2020. And as you guys read in the title, we're going to be talking about NIO stock in particular because it seems like it's been extremely bullish. We broke above 270 today, and I want to talk about whether or not I see it going to $3 per share. So all I ask from you is, if you enjoy this video, you find value in this video, simply go down below, hit that like button, and consider subscribing if you want to see further content from me. And if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community, the Discord link is down below, as well as the Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff linked down below. So let's start off this video talking about the markets, again breaking down the S&P, Nasdaq, the Dow. Then we'll get into what I did today in terms of my trading. And forewarning, guys, it wasn't too crazy of a day. It was quite a boring day for me, at least, today in these markets. So let's break it down here, starting off with the S&P. Ended up closing down $1.38 here, down 0.04% on the day. And we were actually going to close green, guys, it seems like here. Yeah, definitely. But we ended up dumping aggressively here in the last couple of minutes of the market, as you guys can see. And if we drag out a bit to that 5-day, 5-minute, you can see how strong of a support this 3190 level is, right? We held it back on the 16th at the close. We held it in the morning on the 17th and all throughout the day multiple times. Today, the 18th of December, we held it this morning, held it all across the day right before close, and we closed right above it at 3191 today when the market closed. So very strong level of support there, for the S&P, and the fact that we're holding that, I believe that this thing is still bullish, right? Based on all of these different chart time frames, the 20-day, 1 hour, we're trending above all the moving averages, the 50 SMA and the 180 SMA. Again, we're holding that level of support, so that's looking bullish in my eyes. So, on the 4-hour chart, we're holding that EMA again on top of the moving averages, the SMAs, the 50 and the 180 SMA. So at this point, for the S&P to continue this rally, obviously we'd like to see some sort of gap up in these futures tomorrow, maybe the next day, and of course at that point we'll probably be pushing 3,200 and thus pushing an all-time high. So if we get a gap down here maybe further tomorrow, and we'll see in the futures market what that looks like in the morning, if that's gapping down, hey, we may be pulling down to 3180. Maybe back down to 3170. That could be a healthy pull down for the S&P. And with the impeachment process starting today, that's been going on. That's having the market be a bit volatile, as you can see on the daily. If we go back to that, it was very, very choppy today, which again kind of led me to chilling on the sidelines for most of the day today. I still have active positions that we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes, and it's honestly been like that over the past 3-4 trading days. It's been choppy in these markets. So let's break down the Dow. The Dow ended up closing down 27 points here today, down 0.1%. And just like the S&P, this thing has been holding a steady support, it seems like, over these past 3 days of trading at around 28,200. And just like the S&P, we dumped in the last minutes, a couple of minutes of the market today, pushing us down to that negative level. I feel like if we didn't dump, we would have ended up either breaking even or closing green by a very slim amount today on the Dow Jones. And despite the fact that we did sell off, in my opinion, the technicals here still look bullish. We're holding that level of support, both the 50 and the 180 SMA on this hourly chart. And on the 4-hour chart, we're still holding both the SMAs and the EMA, and again, that 28,200 level. So although we saw a bit of volatility, a pull down today, markets are still uptrending. Markets are still bullish, in my opinion, based on these technicals. And if we pull up this NASDAQ today, guys, I believe we hit an all-time high. You can see it, 86.41 here, 25. That was about 2 hours in the market today, 11:45 a.m. And from there, excuse me, guys, we kind of saw a bit of resistance, sold off a bit, and we dumped in the last hour. About the last hour of the market, just like the Dow and the S&P. So flat day, it's down up rather 275 today. Let me take a look on my Yahoo Finance app very quickly for you all to see exactly what it closed at. Yeah, up $4.38. So really not too crazy of a move here for any of the major markets. And if we take a look at the VIX, VIX is creeping up a bit today, and it's looking to potentially make a rally. So do any of you have VIX calls right now? I'm interested. Do you guys have VIX calls? Because if we look technically here speaking on the VIX, let me drag out this little tool for you guys. We can see 1179, $12, right around this level. We've held that multiple times in the past 6 months. Once in April, another time in July. Recently, before we saw a bit of a sell-off towards the end of November, we went from 11 all the way up to $17, and now it seems like we're breaking out again on this $12 support hold for the VIX, breaking above that EMA. So this is looking quite bullish. So the VIX, hey, if you guys think the markets might get rocky over these next couple of days with the impeachment process and all that good stuff, this could definitely be a play, especially VIX calls. I think I heard some people in the Discord talking about that, which is linked down below, by the way. Or I may just be making that up in my head, which could probably be the what's reality. But either way, let me know down below. And I don't know why my voice, guys, bear with me here. It's very, very what's the word? Groggy. I don't even know what the word is, but you guys know what I mean. So let's break down what I did in my trading today. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the markets. Again, if you're holding VIX calls, whatever you guys think about that, I'd love to know down below in the comments. So what I did, I kind of already hinted. I didn't really do much today. I'm just sitting on my swings, and if you guys are new to the channel and you have been watching the past couple of days, or if you guys want a refresher on what I'm in, I'll go over that right now. So ATV is one of them, which did well today, up 1.3%, up 76 cents on the day. This is one that I've been swing trading from around the 57-ish level, so I'm up around 2-3% at this point on ATV, and the overall goal on this one is to sell out at around 60, start scaling out at 60 to around $62 is where I want to be completely out of the position. And, as you guys can see, that being the next major resistance that we're coming up on, which is 62. So at that point, again, I want to be completely out of this position. Another one that I'm in that didn't do too well today is PayPal. Down 63 cents today, down 0.58%. And if we zoom in a bit on this one, on the 20-day 1 hour, you guys can see we are creeping below 108, but if we zoom in a bit closer, we did hold the support here at the close at around 107.80, 107.90, I guess 108-ish, which is a decent sign here, but to be honest, it's not looking too great over the past 2 days since we failed to break out of moving averages to continue the uptrend in today's session. But the fact that I've built a buffer in this position, that's why I feel comfortable continuing to hold it. And by building a buffer, I mean I've been in since around 104.30, right? I believe I added a little bit more yesterday into this position as well. So my cost basis right now, is in the 106s, I believe, 105s. So at this point, I'm still up, and if we drop tomorrow, worst comes to worst, I sell at a little profit or break even, but I believe eventually we'll continue this uptrend, which ultimately leads to my decision to hold these a bit longer. I don't feel scared holding PayPal because I see a lot of potential in it up to 112, up to around 116. I've been seeing people saying this thing could go back to 120s and even higher, right? So I'm holding this one, ticker symbol PYPL, HD 240 is another one that I'm currently in here, guys, up 28 cents today, up 0.13%. And this is one that I got in yesterday since it broke this 50 SMA, that being a very bullish sign in my opinion, and really the breakout factor that I needed to see to enter this position. So goal sell point, like I mentioned yesterday, I'm in at around, I think, like 216, 217 at this point. Goal sell point is going to be 223, 224, and if we break that, I might, add more, or we'll see, might sell half at this point, half of the position, lock in profits, hold another half to maybe capitalize on the rest of the upside. We'll see how it ends up going, and of course, I'll let you guys know here on this channel. So in terms of my trading, that's all I ended up doing. Really nothing new. I'm just strictly holding those 3 stocks in my swing trading account. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys are doing, what your thoughts are on those stocks. And now let's break down some that I'm watching. There's a nice hefty list here for you guys. Starting off with NIO. As you guys read in the title, NIO stock to $3. I think that is extremely, extremely possible. And people might argue that NIO is piggybacking on top of Tesla's rally here, which might make a little sense. Maybe they're running a bit on Tesla's rally because Tesla, if you guys didn't pay attention to the markets today, they hit an all-time high today. And it seems like ever since Tesla's been rallying, NIO's been rallying. But the argument against that is NIO has some positive catalysts itself, right? We have a deal with Intel, right? Intel and Mobileye, and or rather the subsidiary of Intel named Mobileye, they're partnering up with NIO, which is a massive, massive positive thing for the company, that a big, big company like Intel is working with one of these smaller companies like NIO. And that's something that's been driving the stock over the past couple of weeks as well. So that good news coupled with maybe the Tesla optimism leaking over into NIO here has been pushing up the stock. And we've been breaking above level after level that I've been talking about on this channel, the one being 240, right? Like I mentioned a couple of videos ago, 240, if we were to break that, we'd have a good shot at getting to 250. We did that, and then to about 270, which we almost did today. I think I mentioned earlier that we did get to 270. That's my mistake, but we almost got to 270 today, and if we break that level, which I think is very possible here, that is where we have a straight shot to $3 per share, as you guys can see based on these trend lines. So at this point, in terms of a NIO swing position, I wouldn't, try and get in right now. I'd personally wait for that 270 break, maybe tomorrow, and then we may see some volume kick in, more buyers kick in to push it up to $3, maybe $2.93 over the next couple of days. We've seen this happen with stock after stock after stock, especially stocks like NIO that get hot, right? Literally, ATV. It happened to ATV 2-3 days ago, like I mentioned in my previous videos. Once we broke that 56, 57 level of resistance on ATV, that's when a lot of volume started to flood in. Buyers started to come in, which pushed the stock up literally in the past couple of days up to $59 per share, as we saw a couple of minutes ago. So that could happen in NIO here, and again, pushing it up to $3. So NIO, I think there's a lot of potential here. It's on my high alert watch list, and just figured to point that out to you guys and let you all know my thoughts on that. So let me know down below your thoughts. A subscriber commented at stock yesterday, wanted me to break it down, so I'm going to do that right now. Ticker symbol SVM, Silver Corp Metals. And me personally, the way I go about breaking down stocks and ETFs, I typically, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this by now, I like chasing stocks that are uptrending, right? And me personally, I'm a swing trader, so I'm not looking to fight against the trend, meaning chasing stocks that are downtrending, right? When I'm long-term investing, it's a different story. Long-term investing, I actually like buying when a stock is downtrending, but swing trading, it's a completely different ball game, right? Me personally, I don't like messing with downtrending stocks. I like buying on the breakup or on a pull down, right? So in this case, on SVM, I'm liking it that it's uptrending. I'm really liking that. The 50 SMA crosses above the 180 SMA here, as we can see, which is very, very bullish. But we do see it's pulling down a bit, right? I think there's a bit more downside here based on the price action that we've been seeing over the past 3 days, right? We hit a peak at 570, seems like a double top. We failed to break out, so that's bearish to begin with. And since then, we've hit a lower high here, 560, lower high from 570, so that's the beginning of that bearish pattern. Really, this whole thing is, bearish. It's not even really a double top, to be honest, guys. But either way, it seems like it could go either way. And it seems like at this point, we hit a lower low today at 540 from the previous one that's at 545. So for tomorrow's price action, for me to even consider getting in, I'd need to see a break out of this overall downwards pattern, right? This overall downwards pattern we're seeing here, maybe if we broke up to, let's say, 550, 555, that's where I'd like getting a position in, because if we go back to that 4-hour chart, at that point, that will look extremely bullish. Higher low will be confirmed, uptrend confirmed on top of that 50 SMA as a support. That's what I'd personally wait for SVM. But I think it could sell off a little bit more, which could open up an even better opportunity for the swing trader out there if it were to end up holding the support wherever it ends up pulling down to, being maybe that 50 SMA at 528, 530. That's where we could go to. And we mentioned Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. This thing, guys, hit an all-time high today at $395.22, which is absolutely crazy. Up $14, up almost 4% on the day here today. And if we zoom out on the 3-year, 1-week chart, we can see that we did break that resistance, being that all-time high. So for Tesla, would I get in right now? There's no way, guys. I just can't get in at this point. It's too overinflated. Not saying there's no more upside. I'm just saying I need to see a pull down, a little pull down, to even consider getting in, right? And maybe now that we broke 390, that is the previous all-time high, we may pull down and hold that level, maybe consolidate there for a couple of days as a support. And from there, if we start to break up, maybe at that point, I'd build a position. But again, I still want to see a pull down, maybe to retest that EMA like we did a couple of times in the past couple of days. That put us at maybe 385. That could be a spot I'd build a position, maybe 380. Or if we sold off even further, 360 could be a spot. But again, I don't know if that's going to happen with how hot Tesla's been. But that would be ideal for me, at least, to get in on this position. NVIDIA is another one that's been very hot. And we're trading in the middle of a channel here where, similar to Tesla, I'd like to see a pull down on NVIDIA. So I've been getting questions on it. At this point, I wouldn't chase it, me personally. Again, that's me. If you want to chase it, you can. If you do your own research, your own due diligence. I'm just putting my opinion out there. Don't take my word as, the 100% thing you have to follow. You make your own opinions on yourself. But me, I'd like to see a pull down probably to around 220, maybe 225, and that would bring the RSI down a bit. And from there, I'd consider a position if it were to hold that 50 SMA. So that's my thoughts on that. Netflix actually broke a major level today at 320, giving this a lot of potential, although the RSI is very overbought. So I'd like to see a pull down on Netflix, maybe a mini pull down, and I'd actually consider enter this one tomorrow morning if we were to get maybe some profit taking for it to pull down. And if we held, that's where I'd pull the trigger at around 316, 317 on Netflix, because from there, guys, up to the next level of resistance at around 340, that gives it around a 6 to 7% potential for profit. The next one that's been a bit weak since Disney Plus ended up launching, right? We got some good news. It launched up, earnings came up, the stock went crazy for a couple of days, couple of weeks. But ever since then, we hit an all-time high 150. Now we've been cooling off. We failed to hold 140 147, it seems like. We're dipping down. Seems like we may go down to 145, and that's where I'd consider Disney as a position, especially if we were to break 145, get to 142, hold that 180 SMA at a higher low. This could be a very juicy, interesting dip buy for Disney that could offer around 7% if you were to buy that dip and ride it out for another potential all-time high, which I think, honestly, guys, if this bull market stays intact, for the next couple of months, I think that's very possible for Disney to get back to those levels. And I do think this bull market is going to stay intact, for the next couple of months at least here, guys. So, that's Disney. The next one that I want to talk about with you guys is Starbucks. That's another interesting one here. Ticker symbol SBX. Seems like we failed breaking 90, but we're also holding 87. So that's putting us in a spot here where we could actually enter on a dip tomorrow. So this is actually, along with the previous one, Disney and Neo, these are on my high alert watch list right now because these have the most potential in terms of risk reward, in my personal opinion. Again, we talked about Netflix and Nvidia. They kind of need to pull down, but these S-Bucks, Disney and Neo, I think they could be buys literally tomorrow or the next day if we get the right technical, breaks. So that's Starbucks. Very simple, guys. From 88, I think I could ride it up to 90 at least. And on the breakout from 90, you guys can see there's a lot of more potential from there. Facebook's another one now that's fiddling with the level of resistance at around 205, where if we were to break that level, we could get up to not 2016. What am I saying, guys? 216, maybe 210 to 216, which gives it around another 3 to around 5% potential for profit. So watch that break on Facebook, and some that kind of correlate to the market here that I'm watching, gold/GC. This is one that could go either way at this point. If these markets heat up, which could very well happen. If these markets hit all-time highs in terms of the S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, this could end up getting rejected by this downtrending line we see here and really at a lower high to continue the downtrend. And what do we trade when gold's selling off? JDST, guys. JDST goes up whenever gold is selling off, more specifically GDX, right? And GDX is just an ETF. Gold Miners ETF. It tracks gold, and you guys can see it's slowly breaking out, but still overall it's downtrending. And again, if gold takes that dump, if these markets hit all-time highs, that's probably going to happen, and JDST will end up being a solid play. And one on the flip side, let's say these markets continue to push up. One that I like here is SPXL, which is a 3x leveraged ETF that trades based upon the S&P 500, hence why it's SPXL. The way I read this is SPX being the S&P, and L stands for long, right? You're long the S&P. That's kind of how I view it. So this goes up whenever the S&P is going up, and of course, if we get more upside in these markets, this will be a very good play. On the flip side, an inverse to it, if we get a market pull down, is going to be SPXS, and the S stands for short, right? That's how I view it, SPXS. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to go down below, hit that like button, consider subscribing if you want to see further content from me, and if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community, again, Discord's linked down below. Facebook group is linked down below, and if you want 2 free stocks and a chance to win an iPhone 11, sign up to Webull using my link and deposit $100, and you'll be entered to win an iPhone 11 and 2 free stocks. And speaking about Webull, I actually uploaded a review of Webull, pros and cons of the platform earlier today. I'll link that up here. Check that out if you are interested. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, peace out.